Welcome, everyone. What happens when an advocate and an activist combine forces? A movement is born. Welcome to episode 9 of Where Are You Shopping in Your Relationships? The Art of Partnership. Our story, our journey, and our purpose. So, I'm Mariquita Solis, the Uncaged Heart Coach, and I'm here with my co founder, behavioral strategist Linda Tilson. Together, we are the founders of The Last First Date. In June 2026, we officially co-founded The Last First Date because we are two women who don't wait for permission. We don't wait for things to change on their own, and we take action. Everywhere we looked, we saw a massive, glaring need for real, honest guides to help people navigate the modern dating scene. We saw it in our own lived experiences. We saw it in our friends and families. And we felt it deeply in our bones. So after working closely together on the International Men's Day event and hosting our own high-impact live streams, we realized that we were both looking for the exact same thing, a true partnership built on the uncompromising truths and action. So how we live, how we communicate, and how we show up in our own relationship is the exact blueprint we use to model healthy connection for others, guided entirely by our hearts, but also by the logical side. We are here to serve the world in a powerful, transformative way. We don't deal in fluff. No way. And we aren't here to talk about abstract theoretical concepts. We are here to talk about building a rock solid foundation and giving you the actual practical skills you need to move forward in your life and relationships. So welcome everybody. Let us know if you're watching. Thanks for joining us, Linda. Thanks for being here, Linda, for this conversation. So I just want to start off here, y'all, by just sharing a little bit of my personal feelings about this journey that we've been on and how I met Linda, how this came to be. It was about a year ago where I decided to switch to coaching men because I saw there was a need for men who were being oppressed and they weren't allowed to feel all feelings. And so I thought, this is really hurting all of us, not just the men, but women, everyone in society and in the world. So I switched from coaching women to coaching men. And I was looking through LinkedIn, looking for people that might be resonating with that, other coaches. And I found Linda, and she was so warm and welcoming. It was incredible. I couldn't believe it. I had struck gold, and I knew it because of her embracing, her inviting me to be a part of International Men's Day. So together, after knowing her a few months, we collaborated on that International Men's Day and with other team members. And I remember thinking, wow, Linda's got the passion. She's showing it, passion and energy to put this thing together. She was on point with everything. And it was really, there was no conflict in working with her. I offered to do some of the images and things behind the scenes for the International Men's Day. And we worked together really well. And so after that, we did keep in communication. She told me that she helped business leaders with their moving forward and on their path. And I remember that in my mind. And what I really loved was she never was pushy. She said, this is what I do. And I thought about it. At that time, I didn't really want to move forward with anyone, but I really loved, again, that she gave me the information as an invitation and she stepped back, and we continued on and carried on our conversations every now and then, checking in, having Zoom calls and phone calls to see where we were going on the path. And then we started, I had my live stream show and Linda was doing her show. She came on and I came on and I went on her show. And then we realized this energy that we have between us. And so somehow it all became organic. The last first day I was telling her about my friend. He was talking about this business of matchmaking, and I was saying, Linda, we should do that, right? And I said, this is relationships are so important in my life. This is like a big deal, and that's my goal is to help others with their relationships. And I knew that between our relationship and the way that it had progressed forward and the trust that we had built, right, that I was telling the right person. She was like, let's do it. And so, and boom, an explosion happened because it took off. We were on it from that moment. There was nobody pushing us to get going. It was the wheels were in action, right? High gear. And here we are. I mean, it's only been like a month later, 2 months right here, and not even that long. And we've already got our socials up. We've got our videos up. We've got all the Belinda's worked on the web page. And so there's no friction here. We talk about things. There's no ego. I ask her, hey, what do you think about this? Look, I'm not attached to it. Just please let me know. So it's wonderful. I'm not afraid. I'm in a safe space of collaboration in a partnership that it's just it's peaceful and it's explosive at the same time.
Thank you for sharing all of that. I'm going to slow it down a little bit and kind of take us back to some of the points that you were discussing. And you're right. We met in proximity of hosting International Men's Day. So we were two of the women on the team. And what was really nice is when we were doing the work together, Mariquita mentioned how she was helping to do some of the graphics, and she was doing some of the organization for the speaking because we were figuring out what topics we wanted to do. And, through that, we got to like learn how each other works. So we got real familiar. I know that Mariquita has a ton of energy, and when she said she's going to show up and do something, she shows up and does it, and she does it early. She is usually one step ahead of me, and we joke because of our time zone difference. She is 3 hours ahead of me, and so I'm sitting here thinking, as I'm waking up starting my day, she's already got like 3 hours into it, and I'm like, oh gosh, I gotta catch up and get to it. And what's nice is when she's closing out her day, then I am extending it by 3 hours. So I said we get 6 hours more a day to do all of this work. And what was nice about the work that we were doing when we decided to do this live stream, where are you shopping in your relationships? What we were doing is we were using that theme of reciprocity. So she was doing the graphics. I was coming up with some of the topics and structure of what we were going to talk about. And really, what we found is that we had a capacity to be able to take this work and take it to another level. And so, all of these things that I'm talking about and that Mariquita's talked about is the basis of how this whole platform was born, because relationships are everything to me. Having a good relationship means being able to communicate effectively, to figuring out what I value, and really sharing that with another person. But one of the other things that you may have noticed as we've been talking about this, I wasn't looking to start anything. It organically happened. I was out doing my show. She was out doing hers. She's doing men's work. I'm doing men's work as well. We since transitioned into human work, as you know, in the last first date. And if we are doing something that we are not embodying as business leaders, as partners, then we cannot be advocates for how to have a good relationship, in a romantic sense. Because if we can't get it straight in what we're doing, we're definitely not going to embody that. And one of the things I guess that was most exciting about all of this is the fact that we paced all of this. Like, she mentioned that she was, thinking about her business and her structure. And she mentioned, hey, Linda, maybe I might want to hire you to do this. And I thought, okay, let's just kind of hang out and watch. And, she didn't seem to be, quite ready. She was having a different number of things that she was working on with different individuals. And so I just thought, you know what, I'm going to see how this plays out. So it's just like dating. You are going to pace yourself. You're going to observe what's going on, have the conversations, and not try to forcefully move things. Well, I will kid you not. When we talk about we've been doing this for a month, that is true. I actually literally was on vacation and we recorded a live to be aired while I'm on vacation. And I come back and we're like, let's just do this. Let's just form an LLC. Let's just get going on this. We know we want to do this. It's working. We have evidence. And so that's how really the work that we see in the world um, that's worth doing is in the relationship space. So that to me was in alignment 150%. And the fact that we see in society a great need for shifting the landscape to getting away from the profiles and pics and surface level, because what people are paying for is access. We are not having anyone pay for access. What we're having people invest in is themselves, on how they become that capable person in their relationship that they want. And because we can all think that, okay, we're effective communicators, we're done. No, we're not done. um, Communication, it drives relationship, in the fact that when you communicate effectively, you're going to build time with a person that's quality in nature. It's not the more time you spend with a person, the quality happens. No, you could spend lots of time with a person and have no quality, and not have any meaning tied to that. It's how you choose to communicate what you need, want, and value. And a lot of people, and this one is something that Mariquita and I have been speaking to, but a lot of people will always assume that somebody knows what they're thinking, or that the other person is going to take it forward. And so if you want your partner to, let's say, be active in the lifestyle that you lead, then you got to share it, that I want to have an active lifestyle. And are you into dancing? Are you into running? Are you into going to yoga class? And I'm just giving a wide range of activities here that are physical. And if you don't communicate that that's important to you and that you want that, and invite the other person to see if they're interested and have the capability, then you're never going to know. You could write somebody off that could be the perfect partner for you in every way, but you haven't had these discussions. So that's what we help people to do, to understand what they truly value and want, and work with them in such a way to be able to break down the actual steps. Because we know what we want to do in a lot of cases, but we don't know the how to get there in a lot of cases. And so that is one of the things that we help people do.
Yeah. And the blind spots that people aren't aware of. It's so important to be able to look back at relationships and have a concrete idea of what went wrong without blaming anyone, but looking at it through a lens of compassion and self-forgiveness and forgiveness for the other person. Now, forgiveness doesn't mean that you would date them again, but you're aware, right? Or you would tolerate that behavior. No, but you're aware of your part in it, because we're not here to listen to blaming or anything like that. We're here to develop a greater sense of awareness where you are able to show up and be able to cultivate these relationships and be a great judge of character. Because when we say, oh, well, we chose terrible partners, well, we want you to be able to look at people and to be able to assess whether they are truly a partner for you. And that's going to be lasting. We're not here for a quick fix. We're not here just for a 3 months match. That's not who we are. We are creating a foundation that will last by looking at you, deep inside of you, what your needs are, because we want to take care of you. So that means that we all have to communicate effectively. We can't be pretending anything, because if we pretend, you're not going to get your needs met. And we don't have time for that. You don't have time for that. You deserve love, and you don't deserve to be jumping through hoops and playing these games. It's exhausting. So we are here to listen to your needs and to introduce possibly someone else that has very similar needs, or that's on that same trajectory, the same vibrational elements of living, and the values and the capacity to have safe conversations and handle conflict, because these conversations, communications, is of essence. Without that, the relationship will crumble. It will be fighting. People will get defensive, and it will lead to heartache.
Yes. And so what we're really advocating for is self-leadership and the responsibility to know how you play in this all. It is not about the other person, because as you mentioned, there's a lot of always pointing the finger at what went wrong at another person. Well, sometimes you gotta like, okay, what was my role in this? Did I accept something that I shouldn't have? Did I not speak up when I needed to? Or did I blindly go into something thinking it was going to be something different? Because a lot of times we look at possibility in a person. Oh, they would make a great father, or they would, be a great um, person for traveling the world with, all these different things that we might project into a person. And when you do that, then you're not being discerning about, things that come up. And, people are going to behave really well when life is good, because that's easy. It's when life gets messy, it gets complicated, things happen, then that's where you want to know how their character and their behaviors are going to show up. And, are they in alignment with how you would handle something, or at least, in a way that you could come together and be complementary and help each other out. And I mean, even in our relationship, we talk about how you're the creative, you're the painter and the artist, and how I tend to take on the structure organization, but together we're a team. And yeah, when we say that we get together and we get along really well and the ego doesn't get in the way, it truly doesn't get in the way. And I've worked with several partners on different collaborations, and to find a work ethic that aligns with mine, and to find someone that gets things done and they show up and do it, because none of this work that we do together can happen without both of us in the game and having the willingness to talk about anything that comes up that might be a roadblock or something that we need to consider. We have conversations daily. And so we're daily communicators in this business, and we're friends too. Most people will tell you you can't be a business partner and a friend, and I say I've always wanted that. And so I'm going to be the person that creates that, and that's what we've done. This is probably in the area of our discussion today that we just really want to share with you what our next step is for our community and what we're building, and why we're doing that. um, we're having a community conversation. It's coming up on July 24th. And in that conversation, we were discussing what that could be. And honestly, we want to hear from you about what's working and what's not working in your relationships as it relates to putting yourself out there in the dating scene. Because we've heard a lot of discussion around, platforms about what they offer and participating in that. But we've also heard some other themes that have been coming through about dating in general, whether you choose to be organic or you choose to use a site to help you through matching. And we just really want to talk about those issues to get an idea of where our focus can be in our master classes, because we have a 24 session list of topics, but I know that there's more. I know that there's more. I know that we could get even more intentional and in depth on any of the areas. So it's really important to us. And this is probably the really exciting piece for both of us. And through our work, we know that the art of asking good questions is also the same art that makes a great partnership or relationship. So we compiled a series of questions as part of an assessment. And this isn't a normal, everyday, you answer the questions and you get some kind of canned response. It's not at all. It's going to ask you questions about all areas of your life and how you personally see and want something, and how in a partner you see them, how they fit into these areas. And what's really exciting, and Mariquita is going to take it over here in just a second. We're putting the structure here together in this discussion. But what we're planning on is in our live discussion on the 24th, we are going to select one person randomly who answers a question that she's going to share with us here in a minute, and they are going to get access to this paid survey on us. Okay, it's one of our offerings, and what's going to happen is the person is going to complete the assessment, and we're going to bring them back after they've done that, and we are going to do the work of having that discussion. So I'm going to have you break down all of the pieces that come out of that discussion that follows.
Okay, great. Now I have them here because I don't want to forget any of them. Okay, so this is the Partnership Wellness Assessment. And so we've got, it looks like 6 categories: the personal strength profile, which is going to highlight your individual relational strengths. We've got relationships value profile, the values. So it's going to map out core values so that you can stop guessing. Nobody's guessing anymore. We're getting clarity here. So top 5 relational priorities. That identifies what matters most in a partner and connection. Growth opportunities. This is going to offer honest insights into personal areas for development. Now, we all have them. Linda and I have them as well. So, and we want to always grow. So the next area is compatibility indicators that provide specific signs and behaviors to look for in a prospective partner. Personalized next step recommendations. That gives tailored advice on how to move forward intentionally. So now what we need from you, we have a question and we want to hear this answer. And we'll be talking about this in the conversation on July 24th. What is one behavior that tells you someone is truly ready for a meaningful, authentic relationship? Now,
so there you have it.
Don't rush the answer. Yeah.
Yes, not rush the answer. It's simple and easy. There is no wrong answer, okay? Because we all value something differently. And so that one question there, that's only one question in this toolkit of questions that will be a part of our assessment.
Right. And so we really want you to think about the question and then email us at connect@the-first-last.
Dash.
I'm not doing it wrong. Last dash 8. That was correct. That's why I've got Linda here. The structure is on her job. So yes. So thank goodness I've got you, Linda. So yeah, the-last-first.date.com. So make sure that you do that, because we will be talking about it, and one person will be selected to win this assessment, and we will be meeting with you afterwards. We're not just going to hand you a list of here are your answers. No, we're going to take the time to sit down with the assessment and talk to you about it. So it's really exciting, because we are both we love helping people and assisting and guiding, just like I want you to help assist and guide me into better communication. So without any ego and any shaming or blaming or anything, just looking at how we can grow so you can have the relationship that you deserve.
And I just want to add to this assessment that we're giving away. It doesn't matter if you're not in a relationship or you're in an active relationship, the questions will still apply. And, when I say we're not one and done, I really mean that. So these questions are great for when you are getting ready to meet someone or you're just in the beginning stages, but they're also an excellent, this is where I was getting excited. They're also an excellent way in your existing relationship to go back and ask some of these questions, because even if you've been with someone for 30 some years, there are still areas to explore that you might have uncovered early on, but maybe you haven't gone back to. So it helps keep the spark alive by having these, hey, I was thinking about this thing and I really, value this thing. What how do you think about this? And so when I was building the assessment, I thought, well, gosh, um, I'm taking this assessment too. And then I'm going to have my husband take the assessment. And I want to see kind of how this looks, two people that have been with each other a very long time. There's still exploration to do. And because, the person that you are at 20 is not the same person that you are at 30, 40, 50 and beyond, because you evolve. And so, I just wanted everyone to understand that you come into this conversation, you don't necessarily have to be a single. You could be with dating someone now, or you could have a long-term partner. The conversation that we have is relevant. So I don't want people to be scared away and think, oh, I'm married, I'm going to show up in this conversation and that's going to be a problem. It's not. In this community conversation, there's things that are going to happen. And you know what's what's fun is, I'm asking for a friend. We do ask things for our friends and we ask things for ourselves. And so the intention behind the conversation is to get the conversation going and to explore, as a community, where we like to go with our conversation and our learning, because we don't want to just put out the topics that we think are relevant. We want you to confirm that the topics that we picked are relevant and then some.
Right. And if you don't feel like you have to know all the answers, just come. And because I don't know all the answers, Linda doesn't know all the answers. We're there to explore, right? And there will be married people in that group because they want to enhance their relationships. So this is open for everyone. It's a community conversation again on July 24th. It's at 12 p.m. Pacific and 3 p.m. Eastern time, and you must register. And that is the descriptions in the link. We want you to join us in our Facebook group. We have a Facebook page, this YouTube channel. If you're watching on YouTube, please subscribe. If you're not, please go over to YouTube and subscribe, like, and listen. So y'all, we want to hear from you. And that's why we're doing all of this, because we want everyone to be able to have that safe conversation, that safe connection that we all so deserve. So I don't know if there's anything that we've left out. Linda, is there any last words that you have?
The only last words that I have is that if I haven't met you yet, I want to see you in our conversation so that we can have that conversation and see where we can go.
All right. You heard it. So we'll be looking for y'all on the 24th of July. So make sure to register, because there are seats limited, because we want to have a really good conversation. So we can't have too many people in there. So make sure you do it today. Reach out to us, comment on these videos, let us know what you want, and we'll see you there, I guess. And thanks for watching this show. We will see you next week. Who knows what we'll be talking about then, but it's going to be good. If you have a topic for the show, let us know in the comments. So yeah, thanks everyone for watching. And thank you, Linda, for your zeal and your safety in our partnership.
And thank you for that invitation, because yes, it was long in coming, didn't know it. And I'm so glad that we took that step.
Yes. And just like the universe brought Linda and I together, the universe is always working for you all too. So keep your eyes open, because you don't ever know what's going to hit. So we'll see you next week, y'all. Bye, everyone.